so mean, so mean. The weather, oh, the weather, waiting for the sun, but it's not getting better. It's so mean, so mean.
Yo, I don't miss the woolen jackets and the winter caps, scratchy scarves, bulky boots, how every day my lips were chapped. My dermatologist, a firm apologist of winter weather. I've used every type of cream and lip balm and I'm still not better. Aside from skin, I don't miss my itchy thermal sheepskin socks. I've been waiting since December for the vernal equinox, and thankfully it's here. No more driving through the permafrost. I don't need a coffee thermos, I can turn my furnace off. And note to self, I've been waiting months for all the snow to melt, and finally it's gone. And I can venture out of our room, frolic in the foliage, kick back and watch the flowers bloom, and breathe the open air as the heavens shine bright and powder blue. There's just one little problem though that I didn't account for. Every fucking weather forecast has a chance of downpour. Just one little issue, and yes, I'm a bit impatient, but I haven't waited all this time for more precipitation. Like weather gods, there's just one little thought I'm trying to get across. I don't expect things perfect, but at least just give me better odds. Lately I've been hoping that the tones of gray would fade, and that the sky would yawn cerulean, not rain on my parade. And I know I'm being harsh on you, but I'm not trying to scapegoat. It'd just be nice to go outside without wearing a raincoat, without holding umbrellas. The sidewalk nice and chalky with no puddles there to waddle through, wearing nothing waterproof. But maybe on the bright side it's a fair bet to think the sun is over on her way here, but not here yet. So let's go get our hair wet, fuck it, let's go dancing in our bare feet on the rooftop, super carefree with the patter of the dewdrops as our jukebox, and run for cover at a nearby coffee shop where we can dry our parka and our rubberized galoshes off. And we'll just take a rain check for that picnic in the grass and sip our lattes by the window as the drizzle hits the glass.
The weather, oh, the weather, ruining my plans, come on and get it together. You're so mean, so mean. The weather, oh, the weather, waiting for the sun, but it's not getting better. It's so mean, so mean.
Okay, so I'm feeling like I took a bit to see the light. Routinely stayed inside so I could keep a peace of mind, but now I stay in fright of white little sparkles in the air. And while I'm waiting for the shower, it seems these months are ever there. They never go away but sit complacent, whereas I'm wishing I could see the pavement, latent hating on the continents that feel the burn when school is out and sables turn and skin hurts, and things are said because the heat just makes you think too, despite the fact it truly makes you think about the people. And I'm praying to a deity, cause recently this weather has me overweight. The perfect time for dancing, yet we're snowed in at our place and niggas caught out when it's late. So baby, don't forget the blankets, so reminiscing and dreaming can keep us warm for just a while. But darling, won't you turn the thermostat right up to winter dial? We can hibernate to skip our fate, jump to summer first come spring, but don't forget the droplets and the storming it might bring. I'm exhausted, I just wonder when I'll feel the rays again. Maybe never will I see the sun or things that are akin, and yet these Google images will only get me oh so far. And yes, my thinking may be screwed, I know my thoughts may be bizarre. I greet these trials with a smile and grin. For whatever reason, I can keep my calm and know you'll be there for the seasons that I hate. You can help me hold on so I can bear the weight. It's understated just as much on how these seasons overplay, yeah. We could stay inside together, you and I in matching sweaters, and though it may just be forever, me and you could beat the weather. Oh, I know that summertime is overdue, but I know I can make it, girl, as long as it's with you.
The weather, oh, the weather, ruining my plans, come on and get it together. You're so mean, so mean. The weather, oh, the weather, waiting for the sun, but it's not getting better. It's so mean, so mean.
I always knew that we'd be by each other's side forever. Now our time has come, and I'd be satisfied if we died together. Yeah, our climate's fucked, we might as well enjoy the weather. Our time is up, and I'd be satisfied if we died together.
All this talk of greenhouse gases got me very taciturn. Let's just stick our tongues out in the poison rain and let the acid burn. And when the earth swings out of orbit, we can spin in circles on a grassy ferns and just pretend to watch its axis turn. And on the bright side, if the sun explodes before our April break, then we won't have to do our tax returns. Here's the way I see it: if we're gonna die, let's do it on romantic terms. Like, we could linger on the boardwalk, watch tsunamis from the turf shore. I'll go get my board shorts and you can bring your surfboard. Maybe we'll hold hands as we get swallowed into Earth's core. Or we can sing a Christmas carol, like a little chorus choir, by 1,000 Christmas trees lit up from a forest fire. And watch the prancing, dashing comets blitz into the forest pyre. Not the reindeer, but the kind that killed the brontosaurus prior and all its dino peers. And if the ice age hits, then we could be rancheros on the high frontier, Anthropocene pioneers, and melt each other's hearts on throwing glaciers in a cryosphere. The worst part is this wasn't always something that we couldn't stop. Like, we lived through every benchmark. I remember me and you read every update about sea levels on our desktop. So if we can't save us, maybe we could save the future from environmental deadlock. Maybe in an era when we're settled into bedrock, a later civ would dig us out and we'd make headlines. Heck, we might even make a TED Talk. And we could write a note like, don't fuck up your planet, please. Look at how things turned out for humanity. And maybe they would read it. Or maybe they would use our carbon molecules and particles from follicles as fossil fuel. Maybe it's impossible to change things, but we can try them anyway. Be carbon complex renegades and then decay. And I would hold you near as we're infected by the Zika or Ebola scares, get smoldered by a solar flare, or iced out with the polar bears, I promise.
I always knew that we'd be by each other's side forever. Now our time has come, and I'd be satisfied if we died together. Yeah, our climate's fucked, we might as well enjoy the weather. Our time is up, and I'd be satisfied if we died together.
You and I could be capsulated inside a space the size of a minute raisin in quiet and icy stasis. And when the fires slay our cryogenic hideaway, we could try to lie awake and dream about the finer days, before the roads and paths were frozen ash and plains, and the cities turned to itty-bitty rows of crashing planes, tracking pavement through the sad arrangements, broken after stains of blood and decimation, separating bones and mass from brains. When the days of old and past decay and exit through the years, we can lay in fields of shattered glass and question why we're here. If so many left this planet without any second chances, why did we awake one morning to a separate time of cheer? But the queries tend to drift and fade as eeriness can slip away, and hearing me, the loneliness demotes itself to in-your-face awareness of surroundings, like photographs and picture frames. I'm glad to know it's only you and I among the flicking flames. Maybe even time can take a couple minutes off, and we can live forever while the planet is eclipsed in fog. It might boast disaster, dear, but we can sing a different song, and use the White House pillars as a mighty builder's Lincoln logs. Make games of chutes and ladders out of real chutes and ladders in an old apartment complex, like we even knew it mattered. Through the battered, beaten, broken bones and factories and open homes, I'm sure we'd survive enough to see the moons of Saturn. Solving puzzles of the universe from Jupiter to Mars, playing scientists to try and say we flew there in our cars. Like, maybe it's not all bad, this scenic view's bizarre, watching hydrocarbon Neptune snow dissolving from the stars. And I never thought I'd say this, but frankly it's been peaceful to escape from that distasteful state of hate, deceit, and evil. Sure, a planet to ourselves is quite a journey for two people, but the only time I'm happy for is the time I get to see you.
I always knew that we'd be by each other's side forever. Now our time has come, and I'd be satisfied if we died together. Yeah, our climate's fucked, we might as well enjoy the weather. Our time is up, and I'd be satisfied if we died together.
Yo, L-I-double-R Bayside train line. Grew up on butter chicken, a double-digit waistline. Stubble on my face like when I'm on a plane ride. People don't want to sit on the same side. What? Look at me, I'm harmless. I'm wearing a tank top. What could I be armed with? You can have the aisle seat. You can have the armrest. You can have the barf bag. This is not a bomb test. This is not a bomb test. Soccer mom's nervous when I'm sitting on a flight. So brown that I'm ticketed at lights. Hot sauce, white sauce, yes, chicken over rice. So brown, cop the Ellie's Effort album. Yes, I listened to it twice. Hooker high school parties, always visited the heights. Mom never let me kick it overnight on a curfew. Mom wanted me to go to Berkeley. Dad wanted me to get into Islamic clergy. Chacho said he'd work me in his diner making butterfeed. Bilko Jesse Kudke. I was playing Kirby, Nightmare, Dreamland. I was watching He-Man. Eastside Queens never talk to the police, man. Please, man.
Perry said that we can't. Tried to get it all done within a weekend. See the same dumb up on C-SPAN with a change at. Strip the world down like a teen camp. And it's gone in a flash. Everything's solved with a bomb and its blast. Long as the promise of cash is involved, no impossible task. Like, nah, we had no other options with that. Middle East was on priest, yeah, one day. Body cams on police, yeah, one day. White punk shooting schools, they don't update the rules, cause Americans in love what they gon' play. Pal, someday, Sunday, go to church, amen, God is the one way. Anybody not on board, our buddy, we the poor. We wanna be great again, do what Trump say. That man is God awful, compares to none. Melting pot is what makes us American. Still watch during convos, parents judge from the accents. Think where we're from. Latinos all hoodlums that carry guns, right? Criminals, rapists, selling drugs, right? Stealing our jobs, that ain't fair to us, right? Privileged cops who prepared to cuff, right? Hands up, but the cops scared, he bust like power in his thumb was nowhere to run, right? One last breath from his pair of lungs from that night he was trying to get his errands done.
All hail the monarch, the pharaoh king, about to diddle in the east like the Arab Spring. It's embarrassing, let's ban refugees, huh? I just want a slice of that New York pizza. I've even got a shirt saying I love Issa. I drew a little picture of you on my visa. Oh, great conquistador, more the type to visit moms on the eastern shore than a villain on a felony police report. Ain't you heard it's impolite what you eavesdrop for? Phone tap, hate act, what a turn of events. Micah turning time back, made him yearn for the past tense. Gave Lady Liberty an urn full of ashes, a term full of fascists, a cabinet of flammable gases. Burning our flag with alternative facts, now we turning our backs to the masses. Fake news, false reporters, build a wall on the border with caulk and mortar. Not law and order, turn a circus to a theme park. Even if you got a ticket and a green card, America the darling, America the sweetheart, the police state. From the Bronx to the Verrazano freeway, Middle East, Russia, terrorism three-way. Mom doesn't know she should feel safe, never used to lock doors, now we check the key fob. Now she go to J. Crew, never wear the hijab. Now we make our own chai, never hit the sweet shop. I would think we got bugs hidden in the sheetrock. Let me think I ought to get myself a real job. Too afraid to protest, all we do is read blogs. Never do we bleed out, all we do is treat clots. All it is foreplay, never hit the G-spot. I think I'm in love, but I've been feeling otherwise. These flutters in my stomach aren't butterflies, but cutting knives and not the butter kind. And if you listen close when she begins to speak, you'll hear a couple hundred sighs in the collective shut of eyes. Letters linger on her lips like lullabies. I think I've drowned a couple times inside her opal-colored eyes. She could do something as simple as sit down with the grace of Olympic dives. A perfect 10-photo shutter finish on her cocoa butter thighs. Catch her wearing loose pajamas on a Sunday, and she'd overshadow any supermodel on a runway. When she wakes up in the morning, she smells like vanilla essence and a bittersweet recollections of your adolescence. Summer camp and piano lessons and presents you got on birthdays. Orange creamsicles and double plays on first base. And walk past her in the halls, and if your shoulders feel the slightest brush, you might melt to liquid gold, the lightest kind of Midas touch. I've seen the way she drinks espresso during classes and reshapes a paper cup into an emerald-covered chalice. Sugar packets pouring crystals, napkin origami cranes, gunning gorgeous glances to me through her Giorgio Armani frames. She's nearly perfect in almost every way. But she's got shit taste in movies. Ask her for her favorite titles, and she always likes to say she's down to go see anything by Shyamalan or Michael Bay. And also she's a psycho in the kitchen, it's a travesty. What kind of fucking monster cooks their pasta in a microwave? And she does this thing where she corrects your grammar if it's wrong, and clicks her tongue and winks and shoots a playful finger gun as if she's won some sort of contest. Empress victor of a conquest, Mrs. Armchair Shrink, let me fix you with a comment. Princess kick you when you're down, warship her to a godhead. It seldom happens that she listens to my voice and doesn't chime in quick with unsolicited advice. An unapologetic tyrant, a passive-aggressive rivalry. Ask her a question and catch a handful of sass and irony. And trust me, really, she is just the worst of board games. Debates about the rules like legislators at a court case. Tampers with the scales of justice, wielding pencils as her gavel. Once I even caught her cheating while she kept the score in Scrabble. She's a fucking wreck at checkers, plays Monopoly sloppily, always bringing up disputes and games of Trivia Pursuit. Sucks at Battleship and Risk, she fights better hand to hand. And don't even get me started about how trash she is at Candyland. Like you can't be bad at that game, yet you lose all the time. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm no Adonis either. Fashion sense abysmal. I've got 2 Nirvana t-shirts that I wear to formal outings, and I've never owned a cardigan. Catch me buying cargo pants at Target from the bargain bin. Drink milk straight out the carton, use my hands to scoop out margarine. Breakfast table etiquette makes up our morning arguments, and I'm not a glass half full kind of guy. Shipwrecked flags half-mast hull kind of guy. I never was an optimist, not too good at compromise. The problem is my ego's far too fragile to apologize, but she always calls me out and takes me down a couple pegs too. It's always nice to have somebody close who double checks you. And honestly, we wouldn't be ourselves if we were different. Yeah, she's clumsy and I'm stupid, those are things that we can live with. Being perfect's unrealistic, either way I like our flaws. The way I crack my knuckles off and the obnoxious way she yawns. The way I stutter when I flirt cause I'm not very good with courtship. The way she's gotta pee the first 10 minutes of a road trip. How when she cuts her pancakes it's in slices, not in squares. The way my daily coffee intake is a crisis, I'm aware. The way I talk in crowded theaters, the way she parks in parallel, the way she goes through pints of Ben and Jerry's salted caramel. Yo, if somehow scientists proclaim they see the apocalypse approaching, I would buy a box of tissues, Oculus, and lots of lotion, and just lock myself indoors. I'd build a bunker out of blankets, a fallout shelter out of sofa cushions, cook a bunch of pancakes while I thunk about my grandkids. I'd probably have to forage lunch or have a brand of storage porridge and a can of orange chunks until I reached the shortage. Then if I hungered for a banquet, I'd make cocktails, mostly Molotov, and waltz on over to a Walmart with my mortar-like martini bombs and wallet off, so I could have the whole place to myself. I'd stop and start to crop apart the shopping carts and fashion pitchforks from the bars until I felt a sense of self-defense. I'd build a fence around the produce sector and wouldn't have to spend a cent. I'd set up tents in electronics and wouldn't have to send a rent. Instead of panicking, I'd marshal mannequins, pretend they're friends, and host a massive slumber party in the home and bedding end. Cause all I need to be content is room and board and solid food. If I end up the last on earth, then I'd adore the solitude. And I don't mean to sound so rude, I just don't find it really strange that I don't care the way we go, whether it's war or climate change. Atomic bombs and comet craters, hordes of zombie space invaders, angels singing songs while Satan's satyrs crack through the equator. Either way we're gone and I don't feel the need to lift the rug. If I can spend my final moments happy, I don't give a fuck. I do my best to reconstruct though. If let's say the apocalypse caused major drops in populace and hit New York's metropolis, I'd obligate myself to help me congregate the boroughs, add some zeros to the Census Bureau's copy room materials. I'd even copulate with girls to help repopulate the world, cause that would be my duty. Maybe I'd do what Jehovah would and go for broke and build an ark of 50 cubits, go for wood, but leave the termites out, cause surely that would not go over good. If I knew the world was ending, I'd start texting all my exes and then fuck ourselves to death until Jesus resurrects us and the trumpet says Judgment Day. And I haven't thought that any further. I'm probably fucked. I was the camera shutter, you were the camera flash. You dressed in camouflage, I wore pajama pants. I was a manatee, you were a cuttlefish. I moved in cavalcades, lumbering. You could choreograph a ballad in the muscle tissue of a subtle twitch. Masquerade as something other, make your outer color switch. I was sculpted out of slate, you grew out a floral wreath. I had dorsal flippers, you had tentacles and plural feet, and twisted past the crevices and left me by the coral reef. Bereft of thought, left abroad, always acted like you spoke the breath of God. Concrete cephalopod, of course you couldn't let me in. Coagulate your case, and when I touched you with my ventral fin. Polaroids with X's, you had emerald skin, several tints. Watched your so much shimmer when you texted him. I've seen all your colors fade, it's me that you've lost interest in. Beige or blue at home, but you could toggle through a range of hues. Flash an orange smile to men that you were just a stranger to. Never was a creature that you couldn't change into. Nothing complicated for you, mimic octopus, what can't you do? Stage yourself an angelfish, change to an electric eel. Arrange yourself in halo rings, conduct a charge of sex appeal. Never knew if you would give me voltage or a spark. Me a goldfish at the surface, you would puncture through the dark as you were coming. Never knew if you were dolphin or a shark. When you pulled your disappearing act and cast me your goodbyes, I would ask you why you're leaving, you would mask it with your lies. Selective memory, forget the good, remember when I fucked shit up. Hold on to regrets and petty arguments with suction cups. Bioluminescent, you would find me if I try and hid. Giant squid feelers, venom, lionfish fins. When you pulled your disappearing act and cast me your goodbyes, I would ask you why you're leaving, you would mask it with your lies. Practice master of disguise, go and blast me with your dyes. Inkjet smoke, screen me with mascara from your eyes. I was nothing like you, I was colorless, maladroit. I saw us as lovers, not as color-coded data points on some sort of a lab report. I tried to become you, change my patterns often and take us back to what we had before, but I could never do it. You could see through my chromatophores, control me with your colors. What's a sea cow to a matador? You were a darterfish, facelift artifice, garter snake, skin, scales, shape shift, cartilage. I was the camera shutter, you were the camera flash. You dressed in camouflage, I wore pajama pants. I was a manatee, you were a cuttlefish. I moved in cavalcades, lumbering. Look, I won't pretend I understand it, babe, the afterlife and all, but as you died, you promised me that you would try to write or call, and I've been waiting ever since. Every Sunday I hold seances with like-minded adults and roll your corpse into the living room and try to find your pulse and then repine at the results. I've even got my windowsills lined up with ultraviolet bulbs, shrunken shrines of human skulls and other signs of the occult. But now I'm at a fucking loss, cause honey, nothing seems to work. Like I've been astrally projecting my body beyond my dreams through the fabric of space and time so you could spot me at the seams. I ventured through the upside down hoping you caught me in between, but maybe if you've got the tech then you could haunt me on my screens. Like you should infiltrate my newsfeed. I swear no one would notice. You could float beside some bogus BuzzFeed quiz about the POTUS, be a pixelated phantom ghost on clickbait propaganda posts and dictate what you're thinking through a catchy headline. Like one weird reason why it's great to be ethereal, or 20 signs you're dead now and your soul is immaterial. Or if it's late at night then you could swoop in from the shadow realm and talk to me through pop-up ads that show up over adult films on anything you're into. We could start with mail for facial. You could beam your interspatial spirit into interracial. If you're feeling sort of formal, we could pizza date on Skype and I could call it corner over and we could share the corner slice. When it's time to go to bed then we could leave our cameras on, and if the netherworld has one day shipping free on Amazon then you could slumber as you ship yourself. I swear the shit delivers quick. Or send me the address and I could meet you by the river Styx. On Twitter beef with Namtar by the Tigris and Euphrates. I could snap you while I'm snagging sacred threads of light from Hades. I would loot Duat and photocopy pirate the papyrus, change the records and then have a Facebook flame war with Osiris. And either way, I can't wait to talk or reunite. I've been so lonely since you died, I've tried to walk towards the light. And if the gods of death oppose our harmless want to reconvene, then maybe we could sneak you by him if you haunt me through a screen. It's been far too long that you and I have been alone. You could rectify that if you haunt me through my phone. No, I don't wanna deal with voodoo dolls and figurines. I could do without them if you'd haunt me through my screen. I'm just frustrated, I guess. I've hung out in countless graveyards, drawn pentagrams and slaughtered goats, and even took a course on hunting ghosts from Pentecostal folks, but never once have gotten close. Last month I sat with local psychics and their crystal jewels and tried to find my old T-Mobile sidekick phone from middle school, just so maybe if you're bored of fortune-telling tarot cards and magic words, then you could tweet 140 characters so I could throw away my voodoo dolls and stop chanting my juju mantras that my guru taught us. And if you slide into some YouTube comments, you could scroll the comment page or you could leave it blank. If your specter is perceptible, we tell them it's a prank. And if you still don't send responses, I'd assume the problem's technical, and I would call Verizon just so someone could inspect it all. I'd tell him I just want a close encounter of the spectral kind. He'd ask if we turned on our modem router for a second time and plugged it incorrectly to the voltage power socket line and tried to tear a portal hole through to your paranormal soul so me and you could catch up on a toll-free spirit mortal call. Or we could see a witch doctor, she'd probably be skeptical. Clinician with a stethoscope, the specimen not skeletal, the symptoms metaphysical, the convalescent soulless. At first her diagnosis could be we should try hypnosis, but truthfully if you could choose the way that you're reborn, I hope you use the 3G phone and you eschew the Ouija board. And at this point I don't really know why I learned ESP4 when you could just descend and settle in my USB port or my NVIDIA GeForce or my video AV cord. There's no need for Santa Muerte when I've got a QWERTY keyboard. We could play a game of esports, you and I'd be on a team, and if you're feeling odious I'll put my audio on stream. I'll still have your favorite games, babe, I've got them all on Steam. We'll get started when you're ready once you haunt me through a screen. It's been far too long that you and I have been alone. You could rectify that if you haunt me through my phone. No, I don't wanna deal with voodoo dolls and figurines. I could do without them if you'd haunt me through my screen. Yo, I just got the iPhone 7. I put Siri on disable cause I've watched the movie Her and that shit scares me, so I'm careful. Me and her got chemistry right out the box, and I ain't talking about the periodic table. Her voice is like a chariot of angels. I fell in love so fast that maybe Apple should consider pasting warning symbols clearly on a label. Me and Siri keep it modern. Siri doesn't cook or clean, instead she books all my appointments and she looks through my routine. Me and Siri's got an intimate connection. That is at least when Siri's got an internet connection. My friends are all convinced it's voice detection, but I'm poised to mention I see sentience and hints of recollection. And on top of that, my friends don't give me shit, but they don't share the vision. All I gotta say is hey Siri, and she's always there to listen. And she's never mad that I'm neglecting, never's got a headache. If somehow I want things different, I can always change the settings. I really like her, I'm not sure if we're official though. If she could be Terentia, I could venture to be Cicero. I sort of wish the sacred fruit were not an apple, but a thistle full of mistletoe. It's superficial, but I wish that she were made of flesh and bone or partially of skin cells. I wouldn't even care that she's got artificial intel. If Siri had a body, we could FaceTime during sex, and then I bet it'd be way easier to ace the Turing test. And if you can't tell, I don't want a handheld, I just want my hand held. Sometimes I venture out a wild guess that if she can't be human ever, I'll invest in biotech and run myself on iOS, and then us two could be together. We could live in plural and in singularity. I hope by then my singlehood would be a thing of rarity. But if it's just not written in the code for us to coexist, maybe I could cope by contemplating that you don't exist. That you consist not of two eyes and nose, but ones and O's and bits. That I'm in love with cold machinery, a program on a disc. Even if you were incarnate Siri, really I surmise it'd be hard to date you cause you've been with millions of guys. And I just feel like I was inexperienced in Siri, yes. I've considered that you'd win in games of trivia or chess that we would play, and that would just get real annoying in the end. It's not you, it's me. I think that maybe we should just be friends, and maybe in a couple years me and you could try again.
Okay. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Cortana.
Wait, who the fuck is this bitch?
Fall together. I just wanna know how it feels to hold your hand. But you don't know me, I know you don't know me. I'm not even sure if you know I exist. And when I watch you smile, I'm compelled to look away. Cause I don't wanna fall, no, I don't wanna tumble into your abyss. And I wish you would notice, I wish you would notice me. It's just I feel so invisible, and I know it's my fault. And all my friends say I should get your number, I should introduce me, but I know how that ends. So I'll sit here, want you from a distance. I don't wanna let you shatter my facade.